All right, we're about to get started, so pay attention. All right, I think we're live now. Hey, what's up, folks? How you doing? I'd like to welcome you to my PMP exam classroom. Lots of you have been avoiding coming to this class. You know who you are. You've been avoiding. I asked you to sign up for PMP Exam Training years ago. I haven't seen you on the training program. You need to go to Praizion.com. You need to go to training and you need to sign up, okay? For those of you who are serious with your PMP prep and have signed up, my question to you is, how well are you doing in your prep? Are you hitting all those chapters like you should? What chapter have you sufficiently covered in your favorite book? Well, your second favorite book. Because you know what your favorite book is? It's this one. That is your favorite book from now on. It's called Project Management Essentials. That's the book that was recently published by Praizion. Now, while the books may look similar and the same size, this has got a lot of practical illustrations of the tools and techniques in the PMBOK guide. For example, graphs and charts, as you can see, right? And lots of templates and tools. And in addition to that, a grid-based format for your ITTOs. Don't you just love it when you've got it in a grid? Talking about the tools and the techniques and stuff like that, you also have over 50 templates that show you what these ITTOs, inputs and outputs, basically it puts a face to the name, okay? So if you are looking to get certified and one of your complaints is, Phil, this is better than Ambien, you need to get this. How do you get this? You need to go to Praizion.com and you need to sign up for the PMP Exam Prep Camp course. And when you come aboard the program, like many others who have come aboard the program, you're going to be able to study this book a lot more effectively, okay? And you're also going to get this. Now, we've got this electronically, we've got it manually. If you want the manual copy, no big deal, we'll send it to you, okay? If you want the electronic copy instead, that's also an option. So I came on to remind you that you have a deal with me to get certified. Lots of you have started the program. You know who you are. I'm not going to call you out, but you know your names. You've started this program, and people who came on the program after you have taken all their mock exams, have taken all the quizzes, and watch this, they're PMPs. So what are you doing? I want to give a shout out to Michael S. for killing it recently. I want to give a shout out to one of my attack PMP bosses, Lindsay. Congrats on killing it, Lindsay. Lindsay's out of Philly and she killed the exam. Bigly, if I dare say. Can I use that word with what's going on in Singapore right now? Is it all right? Or are you still mad? I shouldn't use that word? All right, I won't use the word. But she killed the exam in a massive way. So huge shout out to Lindsay. Lindsay's going to be speaking to us on the 23rd of June, okay? So those of you who are on the program, if you haven't gotten the invite for Lindsay's breakdown, I mean, she was the top student in the mock exam. The first time we brought out this mock exam, she was the top student. She got like a 67 or something, which was the highest. But since then, lots of her colleagues have gotten certified on the 6th edition. You know, and these are people that started late March, right? It started late March, but now they're certified. So I want to challenge you, if you are on our program and you have not taken the quizzes, you've not taken the mock exam, you need to catch up, okay? I want to give a shout out to my friends. You know who you are. LJ, LC, and MD. You know your names. You know who you are. 3 of you, I'm waiting for you to bring it. I'm waiting for you to do what you need to do. I'm waiting for AS to kill it. I'm waiting for SJ to kill it. So lots of you are on this system, right? JF, you know who you are. I know your names. Hey, I've got my eye on you. Take the quizzes. Take the mocks repeatedly. But don't forget this. Open up the book, folks. Open up the PMBOK guide. Too many people trying to take shortcuts. Open up the guide, okay? Open it up, mark it up, read it. A lot of people face difficulties because they try to bypass this. Now, while I'm telling you to read this as well, you got to do both. You got to do both. You know, I've trained students all over the globe, and I hear one thing from those students who have taken lots of other exams. They say, Phil, this PMP exam is a beast. It's an animal. It's giving me overtime work. That's true. There's a lot of content in it. You know, sometimes even the PMI can't keep it straight. Well, at least they try to. Have you taken a look at the errata sheet for this thing? It shows you that the publishers, the writers, the authors, all of us, of course, the global community of PMPs and PMI members, this always poses a challenge. It's like we can never get it 100% right on the very first publication, because we always find things in it that need to be corrected. So what am I trying to say? It's a big book. I'm not here to bash the PMI, you know. I'm here to tell you it's such a big book that even the publishers sometimes find it hard to keep it straight. So I would like you to open up the book. Those of you that have not been opening the book, open the book, take notes, study, and get this monkey off your back once and for all. Aren't you tired of it? Someone says, Phil, how do I get the monkey off my back? Give me some ideas. Some people go as far as saying, Phil, tell me how to study and what to study. How can you ask me to tell you how to study and what to study? Am I a soothsayer? Am I don't know, am I a magician? I can't tell you what to do. You guys know the syllabus. So I'm only going to give you pointers right now. I'm going to give you pointers. But I'm not a magician. I don't know the best way for you to study. Only you know the best way to study. I don't have a crystal ball somewhere. But one way I can tell if someone is going to succeed or fail on the exam are a few simple questions. If you cannot answer these questions, then I know you're not studying right, okay? If you tell me, Phil, I'm going to take the exam in the next 1 month, and you don't know the answers to these, you need to be very concerned, okay? Can I give you some random quizzes, random tests? All right, let's select any old process from the middle of the PMBOK guide. Open up the PMBOK, chapter 9. Okay, simple one, control resources. Control resources, good, okay. What are we doing control resources? Tell me what exactly we're doing in this process. All right, I'm waiting for your 10-minute elevator speech, or 10-second elevator speech, not 10 minutes, or we won't leave here. All right, what do we do then? Do you know? Okay. So who are you controlling? Is it the team? Is it stakeholders when you hear control resources? Hopefully you did not fall into the trap of saying, yes, it's the team, because that tells me you don't know what the process is. In that process, you do not control people. You're controlling physical resources. All right. Tell me a very common output of control resources, something that is so common. Go. All right. So what did you tell me? Did you tell me change requests? I'll accept that. Did you tell me work performance information? I'll accept that. Good. All right. Now tell me one of the major inputs that goes into this process. Can you tell me? Don't tell me project management plan. That's not allowed. No, not project management plan. Tell me something else. All right, did you say work performance data? If you did, that's not bad, that's good. So what am I trying to show you? For every process in the PMBOK guide, if your exam is coming up in the next month, I expect you at a minimum to know those common things that you see in groups of processes. That's how to tackle the PMBOK guide. Too many people trying to cram things that are a one-size-fits-all. For example, do you know that the project management plan is an input to every process in executing, every process in monitoring and controlling, every process in closing, one process in initiating, and all the other processes in planning except develop project management plan. Did you know that? Knowing such things are going to help you so you avoid cramming, mindless cramming. Lots of people doing mindless cramming. Let me give you another one. Do you know that your work performance information is an input to only one process? Can you tell me which one it is? If you said monitor and control project work, you're correct. Do you know that work performance reports is an output of only one place? If you said monitor and control project work, you're correct. And do you know where your work performance reports go? If you know that it goes to manage communications, manage team, monitor risks, perform integrated change control, thumbs up to you. It's important that you understand your core ITTOs that are sacred cows of the PMI. Too many people just trying to cram things without knowing those big ticket items. Know your big ticket items. Know your big ticket items. So while I can't be the fortune teller who says, you need to study network diagrams because you'll get a question. No, I can't do that. But what I can tell you is to study the big ticket items, okay? So I'm going to give you my Get Good system. Some of you already know it. If you look at a process, you need to ask yourself these overarching questions to get good, right? G-W-U-D, good. What am I getting from this process? You need to know, what am I getting from this process? But you also need to know what you're doing. So that's the D at the end. What am I getting? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I getting? Oh, I'm developing a project charter. I am getting a project charter. Then the next step will be to ask, what am I using? Right? So U for using. Are you using a project management plan as an input? Are you using agreements as an input? Okay. And what are you using as a tool and technique? That's how you need to approach it. So what am I doing? What am I getting? What am I using? And W, I call it W squared. Where is this output going? So project charter, where's it going? Do you know all the places that the project charter goes? Do you know that your project charter goes to a bunch of places? Let's open up this book and let me just show you where you can get this kind of information. Because someone says, Phil, how do I know all the places that this so-called project charter goes? How do I find that out? You know the answer? The answer is in your network, or I should say, data flow diagrams. So take a look at page 76, for example, develop project charter. These network, oh, just keep calling them network diagrams. These data flow diagrams, they're going to show you every place that output from the process goes. So take a look, develop project charter. It goes to every process that's called plan something management. So plan scope management, plan schedule management, plan cost management, plan X management, where X is a knowledge area. Your charter is going to all of those. I just dropped some gold, folks. I just gave you a free meal ticket. Now you owe me. I just saved 5 hours of your study time because you don't have to cram it. You know that anyway you got Plan X management, you got the project charter as an input. You know? I dare say that's a great discovery for many of you. Now, in addition to where you got Plan X management, think about it. When you are initiating a project, you got two things you do. You develop the project charter, you identify stakeholders. So of course, your project charter that you got from initiating in develop project charter, it's going to be an input to your identify stakeholders. You see what I'm saying? So that is how you remember relationships in the PMBOK guide. This is from initiating, that's from initiating. This is my project charter. It goes down and it also goes across to all of those places and in a diagonal fashion. That's what you need to be asking yourself and telling yourself. I just dropped more gold. Now you owe me. All right, so I've told you your project charter goes to everywhere you got Plan X management. Your project charter goes to where you are initiating as well, down below in identify stakeholders. And think about it, what is in your project charter? Your project charter has a lot of high-level information, high-level this, high-level that, and so on. Well, take a look at a few more processes across. What about in integration? Did you know that in integration, your project charter goes to a few places as well? Namely, develop project management plan because you're in initiating, and output of initiating becomes an input into planning. So obviously, your project charter goes into develop project management plan. But also, it goes into close project or phase on the other end of the line. So you're in initiating, you get your project charter, goes into the next process, and it goes all the way to the end to close project or phase as well. Remember, your project charter, it contains information about what will make your project a success and how you know that your project should be closed, right? So for that reason, you've got your project charter going into close project or phase. But I want to show you something very important. People miss this. First of all, people don't look at network diagrams, which is bad. I said network diagrams again. So let me explain why I'm having this, this mix of this frequency confusion. I just trained chapter 6 network diagrams today to this class. So I still got network diagrams on the brain. Data flow diagrams. So some people don't even open up the data flow diagrams, even though they should. But let me show you what you need to do with these diagrams, folks. So if you're taking a look at page 76, and you can see that your project charter goes to close project or phase, don't stop there. You see, a lot of people stop at, oh, I can see where my project charter goes. Nah, you're doing it wrong, folks. Don't stop there and say, oh, I know where my project charter goes. That's just the beginning of the story. The beginning of the story is knowing, oh, I got my project charter, I know where it goes. But do you know why? Why does your project charter go to close project or phase? So you know what to do? It says project charter goes into 4.7. You need to be a researcher of the PMBOK guide. I've had a lot of students, folks. I mean, all across the globe, across various organizations. And you know, those who jump out at me in the class, the ones who jump out at me are the ones who are scribbling feverishly, taking notes and making post-it note markings and highlighting. Those are the ones who stand out. You know why? Because it takes that level of effort to keep your mind straight with a PMBOK guide. You're going to have to take notes. So, oh, don't let me even start this. You know what I hear from a lot of people? I hear from people, oh, Phil, I don't have time to study the PMBOK guide. I want to get your project management audio digest. Now, while the project management audio digest is a phenomenal tool, don't get me wrong, lots of people who are exceptionally gifted auditory learners have used this to kill the exam. But not everyone is an auditory learner. I've got some people who are just plain lazy. And they think that my audio digest can help them kill the real exam without putting in any effort. You're wasting your time. Many people go scouring for so-called courses that promise, oh, you'll pass the exam in 1 week. So they go sign up. Why are you looking for an easy way out? Have you actually spoken to someone that has gotten results from that approach? And there you go, spending $2K, $2 grand, $3 grand, going for some dumb course somewhere that will only make you more confused at the end of the day. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this so that you develop an attitude of studying and taking notes, especially if you are not an exceptionally, insanely gifted auditory learner. Lots of people are not auditory. They have no business buying my audio digest because they're not gifted auditory learners. But those who are and get it, they do exceptionally well. But there are a lot of us who do not learn by listening to Phil's audio digest. There are a lot of people who are going to learn by opening up this page and saying, oh, that's the schedule baseline. Now I know what you're talking about, Phil. Or someone opens up the book to chapter 4 and says, oh, there's a project charter. I understand now. You see? So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you, you need to study in a way that suits you. And you also need to take notes, especially if you're not. For example, I had this student out of Canada, insanely gifted guy. He would listen to me and he would just store everything in his head, almost verbatim. Basically, he had a photographic memory. This student went into the exam and spent 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours. And he didn't get all above targets, but he got at least 3. And he didn't study that much. Now, not everyone is that gifted. For other people, they're going to have to put in a lot more effort, a lot more time. But it's all good because you don't want to waste your $555. You don't want to keep paying. Hey, you don't want to be like you're on a PMP exam plan. Every 2 months, you're doling out, oh, there's $555 PMI. There's 200 and however much it is, 325 for a retake. I don't even want to know about the retakes. But there's some people who have doled out money to the PMI. You do not want that to be you. What are you doing to prevent it? Anyway, enough said. You know, I went off on a rant, but hey, I've seen a lot of people spend money needlessly because they refuse to take notes. They're like, Phil, I don't have time to. Are you kidding me? You don't have time to study and you want to take the exam? Just forget it. Someone said, Phil, I'm a project manager. I'm always on the road. I'm traveling. I can't open up the PMBOK guide. I need a solution to help me. Help yourself, my friend. Help yourself. Anyway, so enough said. Let's take a look at closed project or phase. So we're going over to 4.7, and I'm going to show you why the project charter is an input to this thing. So it's on page 124. It says, the project charter documents the project success criteria, the approval requirements, and who will sign off on the project. So you need to understand, folks, what am I doing? What am I getting? What am I using? Where is my output going? Why and where? Why is it going to this place? Where is it going and why? I call it my get Gwud system. So again, what am I doing? What am I getting? What am I using? If you can just remember these 3 things, just remember the word dug. I dug into the PMBOK guide. Doing, using, getting. Doing, getting, using. Whatever. But if you can remember this, folks, and be sincere with yourself when you're studying the PMBOK guide, what am I doing? I'm managing my stakeholders' engagement, okay? That's what I'm doing, okay? What am I getting? Out of this, I could get change requests because I may find out a few things that need to be updated in some sort of plan or revised in some sort of plan? Okay, so as you're managing your stakeholders' engagement, what else are you getting? I might get some documents updates, I think. Now, when you're in that point where you are not 100% sure what you're getting, you know what you need to do? You need to intentionally open up the book. Just like now, I think I get project management plan updates and project documents updates just because of what I'm doing. But if I'm not 100% sure, I'm going to have to open up the book and get Gwud. You're going to have to get sure. So for those of you who are in the zone, hey, stop laughing at me. It's not fair. Because you know the answer to the question, right, doesn't mean you have to gloat, because I am not taking a PMP exam. I often tell my students, you know, I'm not you. I took my exam 13 years ago. So I'm not doing too bad holding down the fort, trying to keep up with you guys taking the exam. But if you go to Manage Stakeholder Engagement, page 523, it seems like I was right. So I got 2 out of 3. So I mentioned change requests, and I did say you may need to update something in the plan. You can see project management plan updates. That's actually 2. And I did mention project documents updates. So I actually got all 3. You see what I'm saying? I actually got all 3 right, because I followed the what am I doing, what am I getting, what am I using type of thing. So I got my 3 outputs, even though they are rather common ones. If you put yourself in the zone, you'll be able to zone into the right answers. Okay, so I've told you a few things today. First of all, I've told you, if you have not signed up for PMP training, you want to go to Praizion.com, and we will send you the new book, Project Management Essentials. It's a crazy book. It's really good. One of the first people who read an early edition of this book, Colonel Crail, I talk about him a little bit, a former US Marine, went to Korea, not north, not north, went to south for an assignment. Now, here's the thing. We did a class similar to this one for one of the counties in Virginia. He was in the class, right? Finished his training and went to South Korea for his final assignment. What did he take with him? This. What was he doing? Of course, doing his assignment, but by nightfall, or whenever he had the availability, he was reading this. Came back from South Korea, his friends, his colleagues who had taken the course with him, they were still trying to, you know, get started on deep study. But he was ready for the exam after reading that book. Went in, took the exam, killed the exam. Boom, PMP. This is someone who took the course just like his colleagues, but he actually read the book while he was on assignment. So why am I telling you this? This book has helped a lot of people pass the exam. So my first, thing I told you this evening was, if you have not signed up for our training online and you're going to spend money elsewhere, you're wasting your time, okay? Especially if you're spending money with trainers that couldn't care less about your progress. I care about your progress. I want you to kill it. I want you to bring it. And I want you to help other people in your firm, that are looking to get certified. So without much ado, those of you who know about Praizion, you know the level of clients I've trained, the likes of NASA, the likes of the FBI and the US Army and the US Air Force. I don't play games. I bring it. I deliver. So go sign up. If you have not signed up and you're still watching this video, you're doing it wrong. If you're watching this video, you need to quickly go to the page. What is $175? All right, let's say you go to McDonald's and you take 4 kids with you. That's almost half of, a quarter of the budget, because these days, kids, they eat a lot. So I say that in jest, but it's not that much money, $175 for a book. And in addition to the book, you're going to be able to sign up for a month on our learning management system. If you pay $250, you get 2 months. So it's like, it's a steal. It's a steal. So if you are trying to get certified, folks, you need to be studying the right way. That was the next thing I told you. Don't try studying the PMBOK raw without drinking something with it. Too many people trying to just flip the pages, and you need mentoring, training, coaching, inspiration. This channel provides you with a lot of that. I try to bring it for you guys. I try to throw it down. I try to help you, you know, to get into the zone, to be motivated. I tell you stories about me. You know, before I got certified, I found it a little bit hard in project management. I told you the story of how I went to the DHL interview, sat down in front of the people interviewing me, and the first question, I don't even know where it came from. It was something out of a science fiction movie. It was maybe Prince 2. I don't even know what it was. But it hit me like a Scud missile. I'm like, my goodness, am I in the right interview? Gave me the second question, third question, looking like a deer in the headlights. At the end of the day, the interview was a disaster, complete disaster. I've never been for an interview where I felt so dumb. Came out of the interview saying, what went wrong? I knew the software development lifecycle. I knew Microsoft Project. But they were not asking me stuff like that. They were asking me stuff that was a cutout from this thing. And this was way back in 2003, 2004. Long story short, I ended up meeting Mary Hirschner, my mentor, in an engineering company that we were both affiliated with. She said, Phil, I think you should take the PMP exam. I said, really? I went to ask my boss, should I take the exam? You know what he said? He said, that thing, that thing that Mary has, forget it, don't do it. I almost listened to him, but I decided if I did, I was going to be stuck in that firm. So I ended up, you know, it was very difficult. I ended up paying for the exam, but Mary was very helpful. She gave me a copy of the PMBOK guide, gave me study guides, gave me stuff that I could use, gave me a CD that had the PMBOK guide on it electronically. So she really set me up for success. And, you know, she would keep asking, how are you doing? Are you on the path to success? Hey, and that's what I want you PMPs to do. Too many people getting PMP certified and going to a course. Oh, I'm certified. Oh, don't let me tell anyone else what I did to get certified. Hey, those of you, you know who you are. Those of you who got certified, your buddy Phil helped you. wagging the finger at you. Your buddy Phil helped you, but you refused to tell your comrades how you got certified. How could you do that to your buddy Phil? You ain't sharing the love. You ain't sharing the love with your buddy Phil and other people. You got to share the love, right? So if I helped you get certified and you have not told 5 people, okay, 3 people that I helped you and how I did, you're not doing it right, bro, sis. I want you to pick up the phone, tell your family members that your uncle who got an engineering degree that's sitting on the couch not doing anything, that aunt of yours that's into sales and marketing and doesn't even know how to keep a project straight, you need to be telling these folks, hey, you need to go to that guy Phil. You know, he'll get you straight in project management. You know, even beyond the PMP exam. So if you got certified on my watch and you haven't told 3 people that I helped you, I want you to pick up the phone, crack open your email, and let people know that I helped you, because I want to help other people as well. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if you tell other people, all right, that I helped you, all right? So I've said all that to say I've helped a lot of people get certified. You are in good hands, but you need to take action towards your PMP cert. First of all, sign up, stay engaged, right? Not just on our program, but also right here on YouTube. Send me meaningful questions, all right? Don't send me ridiculous, I don't know, things that will not help me or you, because I get a lot of that. I'm going through hundreds of messages where you didn't ask me a sensible question that my buddy John or Mary or Frank who are getting ready for the exam can benefit from, you're not doing it right. But I want you to ask me questions that probe the book. You know, questions that say, Phil, I saw that the deliverables were an input to manage project knowledge. Why? Those kind of questions, okay? Don't ask me questions about how to, you know, sell your used PMBOK guides and these mundane questions. But seriously, come on the program, be engaged, all right? And do your part and stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for get certified quick schemes, because those are just terrible. I've heard from so many students, oh, I paid this, and I'm still not certified. Why won't you pay $175 for what I just showed you? The book on its own is worth that much. You know, the book on its own is worth that much. Another feature in this book is that it captures, you know, all of those pesky breakdowns of the grouped tools and techniques. It gives you like a 3D visual of all of those things. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I really, really need you guys to sign up for the program, because I know it will help you. All right? So in closing, okay, for today, because we've got more training to do. But in closing for the day, I want to challenge you. Get your study routine right. A knowledge area a day keeps the PMP blues away, right? And my Get Gwud system, which I've showed you, you don't even need to pay for the prep. I've already given it to you. What am I doing? What am I getting? What am I using? Where is it going and why? So I call it GW squared UD. What am I doing? What am I getting? What am I using? Where is it going and why? If you ask yourself these questions in all honesty, you'll do great. So my marching orders to you are: get a study plan, a knowledge area a day keeps the PMP blues away. And as you study each process, be honest. You either know it or you don't, right? You either know what you're doing or you don't. What's the difference between managed stakeholder engagement? Going back to my questioning. It's not an interrogation, don't worry. But going back to my questioning, what's the difference between managed stakeholder engagement and managed communications? Do you know? What are the differences? What are the similarities? What is the overarching reason why we're going to do managed stakeholder engagement versus managed communications? Do you know why? One is an intent to meet communication requirements. The second one is an intent to communicate to get engagement results. They both have communications at the heart. But one is communicating to fulfill those communication obligations and requirements and check the boxes. But the other is still communicating, but because you're trying to engage. See, I just dropped some gold again. Sign up for the program, folks. All right, I'm going to answer a few questions, and then we're going to get on with our training here. So let me answer a few questions that I got from some of our friends here. Let me take a look at a few of these things. So I got a question from Raymond. How much is the training? Go to Praizion.com. It's $175 for 1 month, but you can get 2, 3, 6, and so on. Biren, my good friend, good to see you. Biren is a PMP. So he says, I owe my PMP success to your free YouTube videos and materials. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Also, convey my regards to Emily for her tip. I think you mean her tip videos. Yeah, Emily's done quite a number of videos. And she's actually got a series. There's a series. Those of you, I'll just give you a sneak preview. We've got a series for people who are PMPs, but it's going to be training you on leadership. So she did a lot of that stuff that you'll see being released shortly. I strongly recommend your course to new aspirants to clear the PMP. You're so kind. Thank you, Biren. Phil, one of my colleagues who could not clear the PMP, yes, in first attempt, is planning to give another shot. Which product? The product I recommend, Biren, is this same product that I told you about that comes with the book. Let me tell you why I don't recommend products that don't cover everything for people who have not passed. Since they've taken the exam and I'm not able to narrow down my focus as to why they failed, I tell them they need to start from ground zero. And I found it to work in so many instances. Where I find trouble is where we get a little bit too, all right, you need to know executing. You know why that doesn't work? Because the PMP exam is different. So some people take the PMP exam yesterday, failed executed. Take the PMP exam in 2 days, pass executed. Do you see that there's a lot of variability in the exam? And that's why I tell people you need to cover everything, right? I'm not trying to give you more work, but your friend, Biren, I'll tell your friend needs to cover every single piece. All right? Thank you. You had a great experience with the audio bootcamp. Any better suggestion? Also provide URL to review the same. Yes. So it is not out at the moment, Biren. The audio digest, we're done with all the recording, but it's cooking and it's going to be out very shortly. I thought it would be out last week, but it's been a little bit rough trying to do that because, you know, like you can see, we've got lots of training going on here. We've got people who are trying to learn project management basics. We've got people trying to learn Microsoft Project. I showed you a few clips. Colin was training Microsoft Project in that video. And we've also got people trying to get PMP certified. So there's a lot of training going on over the past number of weeks. We've had going to 100 project managers with different needs, you know, at different levels that we're trying to satisfy. And when that happens, you know, production of those things is kind of limited. Even though it's done, I like testing it out personally. So I want to do that in the next week. But as soon as I've been able to put myself in the student seat and go through that stuff, you're going to see the project management audio digest. And it's going to be wicked. It's crazy. This time around, it is extremely lively, extremely engaging. And for even people who are PMPs, getting the audio digest, you know, it equates to PDUs. You can get PDUs by getting the audio digest. So if you are serious in your project management and you're cruising in the car, going to work and listening to, I don't know, your friends on Sirius or one of those radio stations, you need to listen to your buddy Phil in the audio digest. So when it drops, Biren, you need to get a copy of your friend as well, because it's going to keep you up to speed with the 6th edition. All right, we got a good question from Prem Kumar. Very good. What are the roles of the PMO? Very good question. So PMO stands for Project Management Office, but you could also call it a project office or program office or program management office. Now, in the recent edition of the PMBOK guide, PMI has also referred to a project management organization. So we're not talking about the project management organization. We're talking about the project management office. So the role of the PMO, basically the PMO in most companies is a department that services the project managers in project management needs. They provide services such as training in project management, such as templates and tools to help project managers better manage their projects. But we have 3 types of PMOs, Prem. So I'm going to show you the 3 types of PMOs. Some PMOs get into your business quite a lot. We could call those troublesome PMOs. I'm joking. We got them on page 48. Supportive PMOs. These PMOs are pretty much your lamest form of PMO. They don't know how to bring it. They're weak. They say, oh, Prem, we want to help you, give you some templates. And then you say, how do I manage my project? And I'm like, oh, we don't know. We don't want to tell you how to manage, but you could use these templates. Those are the weak PMOs. Then we got PMOs that are in the middle that say, hey, Prem, we're going to give you templates, but we want compliance. We want you to follow the process. Then we got controlling, power-drunk PMOs. And those are the people who take over your project because they feel you're not doing it well. All right, now I've given you visuals. Let me talk about the real definitions. Don't get so serious. All right, page 48. So you got supportive PMOs that pretty much do what I said. They offer support, they give you templates, they give you tools. They don't want to rock the boat, all right? It says, supportive PMOs provide a consultative role to projects by supplying templates, best practices. It is, this type of PMO serves as a project repository, and the degree of control provided by the PMO is low. Then you've got controlling PMOs, the second type, and these require compliance, and their compliance needs involve adoption of project management framework or methodologies, use of specific templates and forms for particular projects. I was in an organization like that. If you're managing a project of so much million, then you got to use this. If you're managing a program of a project of 100,000, then you need to use just these 2 or these 3, that kind of thing. And then conformance to governance framework. So if there's an overarching framework in the company, they're going to be getting to your business. Now, the last type of PMO is called a directive PMO. These guys have a lot of power, right? Because the PMs report into this organization. So it says directive PMOs take control of the projects by directly managing the projects. Project managers are assigned by and report to the PMO. The degree of control provided by the PMO is high. And it says the PMO may have organization-wide responsibility. So I've seen various combinations of this, Prem. In some organizations, the PMO is a global PMO. In some organizations, it's a regional PMO. In some organizations, you got PMOs by department. The notorious one that I've seen the most, and they're going to get mad because I'm going to tell the truth, the PMO for IT. Why is the PMO for IT usually different from the PMO for everything else? Anyway, figure that one out. I'm not going to answer that question. You can figure that one out. But I know, I've been in IT myself. ACP materials, yes. So that is still up in the air, Biren, unfortunately. We do not have a fixed date for the ACP materials. But here's the good thing. If a company is out there and they want ACP training live, we do that. We also do Scrum training for the certified Scrum Master from the Scrum Alliance. I'm not talking about that bogus Scrum certification that is trying to rename or confuse people that they're from the Scrum Alliance. We don't do that. But we train Scrum from the Scrum Alliance. So if you want live training for the ACP or for Scrum, we do that. But as far as online self-study, that is still in the works. Now, if you came on board our program to study for the PMP exam, we have 1.5 hours of agile training that is part of the curriculum, but we do not have standalone ACP training. But hey, like I told you, Biren, have you started doing what I asked you to do? Go to the Agile Alliance site, sign up. In our last live video, I got in touch with Alistair Coburn, and he was gracious to give me a link that is not exactly the link to his site, but it's the Wayback Machine that will enable you access all of the content that's on his site. So go to the video that I recorded on Saturday, check out Alistair Coburn's Wayback Machine link. Watch those videos, read that content. It's going to help you. And before you go for ACP, Biren, you want to do your Scrum CSM training. It is really going to help you, okay? Because the ACP, it doesn't have the level of uniformity and rigor in terms of the training that the CSM has. CSM, you go for CSM training course with a great trainer, you know you're gonna get great stuff, right? You know that whoever trains you, because they have been through the vetting process, they're going to deliver. You see, it's different from PMP. That's why we got popped-up trainers training. Anyone becomes a PMP trainer without putting intentionality into it. You know, I'm not saying anyone can't train for the exam if they're PMP, but I'm saying do it in a deliberate, calculated, and meaningful fashion. But we don't have that uniformity. And that's why I say go for Scrum, because if you go for CSM training, the overall idea and concept of Agile, your instructor will put the fear of Agile into you like it happened to me. Shout out to my trainer at the time, Tom Meller. He put the awareness of Agile deep down into my brain. And that's why I'm equally passionate about Agile. as I am about any other method. So I'm generally passionate about project management, but when people try to shut down Agile and say it doesn't work, it's stupid, it's ridiculous, how can you use Agile to build a 10-story? You're using Agile for the wrong purpose and in the wrong circumstance. So get a good trainer. What I'm trying to tell you is get a good trainer or mentor through the CSM path under the Scrum Alliance. And if you get hold of a really awesome trainer, of which I only know that you're awesome trainers, so there's no trainer that I've come across in the Scrum Alliance that does not have the stamp of approval as someone worth their weight in gold. So that's why I tell people, before you go for the ACP, do the CSM. And you want to get feedback from people. Like, for example, if you went to Tom's class, I can't imagine how you wouldn't get that same level of mental adjustment to really get into the heart of Agile. So find a great trainer for your CSM by going to the Scrum Alliance site, and I'm sure you'll come away with gold. All right. Okay. Biren says, I've started training PMP aspirants. Awesome, man. The next level, Biren, I'm looking for your channel on YouTube. All right. To what extent current PMP approach of project management fits? I wouldn't say PMP approach, Biren. I would say fully plan-driven project management. How does fully plan-driven project management fit into Agile? Oh, I see what you're asking. So Biren, this is it. Taking a look, project management is project management, right? If you read the 6th edition, right, which I think you should, in detail, you'll find ways, creative ways of blending Agile with fully plan-driven. I wouldn't call it PMP, though. I'd call it fully plan-driven. So fully plan-driven project management can be combined, right, with Agile. And that's why PMI put both of them together, to show you that they are complementary, right? So if you're working on a project that has some Agile-oriented features, as a good project manager, you should be able to split those specific tasks or that specific phase agilely away from the fully plan-driven. But of course, there are dependencies and so on that may roll in to the fully plan-driven piece. That's why you're a PMP burn. So the PMI, they talk about tailoring. They expect you to be able to tailor this and that to your project. Okay? All right, which other question do we have? Oh, you're so welcome, Prem. Yes, good. You signed up as a free user. Good. So the next step, Biren, would be to go to CSM Training. And then when you finish, remember, go to your Mumbai PMP. Have you done that, Biren? Have you spoken to the people in Mumbai in the PMI chapter there? Because I am sure that they can give you some good steps and guidelines. You know, it varies regionally. So if you're not doing this online and you're doing it in person, even better, even better. You know, ask them, what do they have in store for CSM training? Because believe it or not, the CSM training I went for, it was organized by the PMI Phoenix chapter. You know, I saw this great opportunity. It cost a lot less, as PMI chapters usually, you know, do. They get the training for less. So I went for that training and got my CSM and got into the world of Scrum a lot more, even though I had been into Agile, dabbling into RAD and JAD. But it wasn't until I got into that CSM training that it really clicked what Agile was. And that's why I always recommend solid CSM training from a recommended source and then ACP. Okay, a few tips for the ACP. If you have not read the Agile Manifesto, you want to, and you want to get into the mindset of what Agile is, that is the most important thing. Not beginning to study some book somewhere, but really get into the mindset. That's why I said, listen to Alistair Coburn. Go to his site, check out the details that's on his site, go to the Agile Alliance site, check out the videos, and check out the Agile Manifesto. Get into the mindset of what it is. and then talk to your local chapter, and then, you know, you'll get into the mindset. The exam is not a cookie cutter test. I dare say the Agile exam was even a lot less cookie cutter than my PMP. PMP seemed more predictable. The Agile, the ACP exam, the questions, if you don't know the mindset and you don't have the manifesto, you know, circulating, it could be hard to answer a lot of those questions. You know, that's my 2 cents. All right. So I want to thank you, folks. Thank you for staying with me. I've got another class to do. So I'm going to hop off here and I'm going to say, hey, if you have not signed up, what are you doing? Go sign up. Get the guide, sign up for the videos, and begin. Now, those of you who are on the program, bit by bit, you would have started receiving your electronic version of the book. Now, the electronic version of the book, of course, does not look exactly like this. It's got a different cover, but it's the same juice in it. It's got a blue cover, but it's the same content, okay? So I wish you all the best on the exam. Don't forget, ask meaningful questions. Prem asked a great question tonight. Send in your questions, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you with answers. Okay? Speak to you guys soon. Be good, and don't abandon your PMP prep. Bye for now.